Okay, we're gonna give ourselves a full hour today because we've got a number of things to go through. Hello everybody, and welcome back to the next session of Crusader Kings 2. There's a bit of a camp fever epidemic going on here. I totally missed that last time. It's a huge epidemic that seems to be moving east, so let's hope it doesn't come to our lands anytime soon. Anyways, we're back. Moving on with the adventures of Harald the Younger of Skåne. I know I said the second before, but the Younger has a nice ring to it. It was a common naming convention for two generations with a similar name. So if this guy's Harald the Older, it only makes sense that this here guy would be Harald the Younger. Now, in the last session, I kind of want to apologize, because I was recording that session after a long day at work. I was very tired. Well, exhausted is probably the wrong word, but I was tired, bit scattered brain, absent-minded, and I realized after editing the video that my English wasn't the greatest. I really hope that you don't get hung up too much on all the various errors that I make. I kinda speak as I go along and usually don't notice the full scope of my errors until afterwards when I'm editing the video, and then I just feel like a complete idiot. And the last video contained many more such errors than what's usually the case, and I felt I needed to address that right now, so I'm very, very sorry. I'm gonna keep practicing my English and working on it in the future. But I also want to take the opportunity to clarify a few things. I've taken some time now to go over the story of Harald the Younger a bit more. I've been taking a moment to think stuff through a little bit more. Think through his character, his backstory, and, figure out why things are the way they are. And I figured I'd take a few minutes off the gameplay just to lay it out in full, lay it out properly, without any gaps, any question marks, or misunderstandings. I apologize if parts of it is gonna be a repetition from last time, but it's better to be too clear than unclear in this case. So I'm going to bring forth a bit of documents here, a few notes I took, just to help me keep track of my thoughts. I've figured out I kind of need that at the end of a day when you're tired and everything. Just give me a moment, please. Okay, so, like I was going through in the last session, Harald the Younger was having a strained relationship with his father, Ravn, in the final years of his life, and that had to do very much with the fact that he was ripped away from his youthful years, his time as a child, messing around, taking it easy, and he had to grow up quickly to be prepared to assume his duties as ruler, which happened a lot sooner than expected. Now, despite being a strong-willed, an ambitious person, proud of his heritage and the family he's part of, Harald's also been showing off a bit of a lazy side. I mean, like all the eldest sons of the family, Harald has been given a warrior's training, an education in martial, an education in warfare, and he's still quite the decent fighter, as you can see. He's got quite a high martial, quite a high dueling skill, and he's decent enough at military tactics, and yet despite his talent, he kept making up excuses to not show up for his occasional sparring matches. Like he'd skip his lessons, he wasn't around like he should have, and generally has just been shying away from any form of labor and chores whatsoever. Not because he's a craven, mind you, like he isn't spoiled, he isn't stupid, and he doesn't lack talent. He simply had no desire to assume that type of responsibility. Not at that moment of his life. You'll have to bear in mind that he was like 14, 15 years of age at the time, and he just didn't feel like his time of ruling was as close as it was. He believed it was going to be in like 20 or 30 years or so he just wasn't concerned about any of that political stuff for now. He just wanted to live life, you know, to chill out, hang out with the other kids, the way teenagers do. But well, his father Ravn of Skåne would have none of it. Because as you'll remember, from the ripe old age of 30, he was diagnosed with cancer. And yet you'll have to remember that Ravn too, at one time, was a young man. He also had ambition. He also had a lust for adventure. Like his own father, Harald the Older before him. But his illness put a stop to all of those plans, and he was about to join the Varangian Guard as well. But, well, having been there for only 1.5 years, he wasn't assigned any command, he didn't get sent out to any battle, even as a mere soldier, because his illness just sucked all the living energy out of him. And then Harald went out on his legendary journey, getting killed by none other than the head of the Varangian Guard, no less, which forced Ravn to return home early and assume the mantle of leadership in his own lands. And as the disease progressed within him, he became more and more fearful about his imminent death. Eventually his disease, his quest for a cure, his quest for eternal life, or just any manner to cheat death, became all that existed in his mind. He even laid aside his planned campaign for Blekinge, remember? He had fabricated a claim for it. He was going home and he was about to prepare to go to war for it. But no, he put all of that aside, dedicating all of his time and focus trying to pass the trials of that African woman. He knew there was potential for failure. He knew he could drop dead at any day, either by the trials or just the disease itself. And in the case of his untimely demise, he needed to ensure that his lands were left in capable hands. And that, my friends, that is where his eldest son Harald comes in. This is the context through which you must understand Ravn's action. Because Ravn, he loved his son. He loved his son. He only wanted the best for him. He never really had any inherent objections about Harald's character or his conduct. I mean, yeah, Harald is a bit on the lazy side, but he's a good kid overall. But growing constantly paranoid and fearing for his life at every minute, Ravn simply could not abide by any more bullshit. He simply could not tolerate his eldest son and the future heir of Skåne to mess around, acting like a teenager, when he would have the realm to rule before too long. So one day he just had to put his foot down, even if that meant shattering what little was left of Harald's childhood. And Harald took it very harshly. Like, he was essentially ripped away from all his childhood pleasures. He was not allowed to see his friends. He was allowed very little spare time to go for walks and doing whatever other leisures he wanted. He was kept on a very strict diet. He had to stay in good shape, spend hours of the day in continuous sparring matches and practicing with these wooden dummies, as well as attending regular council meetings to keep himself up to speed with the goings-on of the realm. He actually learned a lot from these experiences, mind you. He emerged from the council meetings more aware of the world around him, and he took some time to study the stories of his father and his grandfather more closely, gaining him much more extensive knowledge of his history and of how his dynasty had got to where it was today. And despite having been forced into all of that, very much against his will, Ravn's efforts still did bear some fruit, as Harald did develop a sense of ambition. Knowing more about who Ravn was, and who the Great Bear was, and what they had done for Skåne, gave Harald the Younger an eye-opening insight as to who he himself was, and what his purpose was in this world. He would rule the lands. He would fight for the glory of the family. He would expand the lands of Skåne and achieve success through conquest where both his father and grandfather had failed. With his ambition and his thick-headed stubbornness of getting his way one way or the other, he would be the one to break the deadlock and elevate our standing from that of mere chiefs to high chiefs and possibly even kings. Still, he never quite forgave his father for his forceful approach. So much so that when Ravn eventually did pass, all of Harald's previous disciplines just vanished. Poof! Just like that. And while he did mature and become ambitious, his lazy side returned, turning him into a slothful man who only ever performed the absolute minimum amount of duties and chores of rulership. I don't think he's gonna be the guy to take personal command of his troops, or even set foot on the battlefield. And to whatever extent he does that, he's only ever gonna be leading troops from the rear, you know, from the safety of his own men. But nah, I reckon he'll just sit around at home more often than not, preferring most of the time to just lazy about in his longhouse, feasting on luxurious foods and sweets, as he also became greedy for food as well as treasure. And not necessarily in the sense that he's greedy for material wealth, but you know, delicious food, lots of money, they go hand in hand somehow in his mind. As a symbol of status, as a testament of his standing, Harald wants to be able to engorge himself on as much food as he possibly can, and all the luxury and glory associated with being the kind of king that he desires to be. And that is how I'm explaining these two vices that he developed. This is how I'm going to explain the indolent character that he developed as a child, because that's really the only way I see it makes sense. Plus, it's a good thing that he's got some sort of different streak from his father and grandfather, because Ravn was pretty much a carbon copy of his father. Wouldn't be much of a fun gameplay if everybody were the same, now would it? Anyways, while he's not inherently an evil person, I do feel like he's slowly but surely developing a little bit of a dishonorable streak. Like, he's not gonna be the kind of guy to show compassion and restraint. He's not gonna be the kind of guy to show generosity and good faith towards others. He wants all the power and all the glory, and he wants it all for himself. He just doesn't want to put down any work himself to get it. And if anyone, I mean anyone, threatens him or stands in his way, he isn't going to be the type to show mercy. Mind you, he doesn't have the cruel trait, so he isn't going to be going out of his way to be a cruel psychopath kind of character, killing and torturing people without provocation or just for the hell of it. But I do believe, given his sets of traits and skills, that should he ever face any sort of moral dilemma where he gets to pick between an honorable and a dishonorable option, he'll be more prone to pick the dishonorable option over the other. I mean, obviously it's going to depend on the actual context as well, but looking at his stats and considering his personality in light of all these events, there's just nothing about him that attests to him being a good person. Harald the Great Bear, he was kind and charitable. Ravn was kind and charitable. But Harald the Younger, he is neither of those things. He is lazy as hell. He's constantly hungry for food and sweets. He is ambitious, stubborn beyond belief. And as if you haven't noticed already, he's not the kind of guy to mince his words either. He tells things exactly how he believes it is. He makes no secret of his feelings and intentions on matters, and he's not afraid of stepping on people's toes to get what he wants. And that, for me, tells the story about somebody who, while he's not necessarily evil, doesn't possess the most honorable personality either. And well, we've done Mr. Nice Guy twice already. And I figure now it's time for a different approach. A new approach of somebody who doesn't bother as much with courtesy and good graces as the previous rulers did. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it about Harald. Oh, and one thing I will add, we married him off to this lovely lady right here, and she's nothing more than a peasant girl, really, from all the way over here up in Iceland. I still haven't figured out, like, a specific story for her or something, but she's ambitious. I reckon she must have come from a troubled household or something. She must have had poor relations with her family. And I mean, the Viking realms often traded with each other. Maybe she snuck on like a trade ship or something, and as they were out at sea, she revealed herself, promising she'd pay for her passage once they got to their destination. Not really knowing where she was going or how she was going to get the money, she just pretty much took a chance. Then they arrived at their destination in Skåne, and having just come of age and been made the ruler, Harald must have had some business over in Ystad. Because he stepped out of his longhouse and caught the sight of his beautiful girl, whom he knew he wanted to marry and get together with. call it love at first sight if you want. And yeah, I know, maybe it's a bit of a cheesy story, but what the hell. Norse mythology is filled with, not cheesy stories, but, incredible events and stories like that. And obviously, Harald was more than willing to pay for Gyla's passage. He paid for her passage in exchange for her hand. And being a lowly peasant girl in a cruel world such as the medieval one, it ain't easy to manage on your own, so obviously she was more than happy to accept getting married to him. I think they're a bit uncertain about each other in the beginning, but hopefully they'll grow to like each other more. I think they will. So anyways, this was pretty much the most important stuff I had to say. These were my rants and the things I felt the need to highlight the most before the start of the session. I just quickly want to go over a few more things. If you'll remember from last time, I mentioned that we were a third generation ruler here. Like, we belong to this row of people, but we've still got living relatives over in this row of the family tree. We've got Hafrid here to begin with, who was advanced all the way to become a hero of the Wolf Warriors, which I think is flipping epic. Like, what a journey this woman has made from a lowly secondary daughter, a regular wife of Harald Hårfager's son, to the prisoner and concubine of this Norwegian warlord, whom we then liberated, made a shield maiden, and who joined the Wolf Warriors during her capture, and who has now been elevated to the rank of hero. My goodness, she's had an eventful life. She really has. And she was a close friend of Ravn. She and Ravn really liked each other. They had a very close bond together. And so, upon the death of Ravn, she sought Harald out early on and pledged her personal friendship with him. Excuse me. She pledged her sword, or whatever weapon she wields, and swore allegiance to him. And we're very grateful about that, of course. And we're gonna be keeping track on our uncles too. On Hallgrim of Rygen, who decided to play the role of loyal vassal to Hårdknut, as well as Holmger of Livland, who's decided to take the opposite path. He wants to be king of Estonia. He's actively plotting against the Liege to potentially become independent someday and form a realm of his own outside of Sjaelland, which is going to be interesting to see how he does. Then we've got Revna. Revna is still a factor. She's still in our realm. Her husband's one of our commanders. I don't know, she doesn't seem to like us that much. She is content though, so I don't think she's gonna be going after titles anytime soon, but she's also quite deceitful. So I'm not quite sure where to place her. Is she gonna be a friend or a foe? Is she gonna be a threat or an asset? We'll just have to keep an eye on her and see what she does. I was looking through the state of the world a little bit just to find out if anything interesting had happened in between the sessions. Or rather, anything interesting had happened in the last session that I didn't go over back then. But since last session only lasted about a year, not a damn lot has happened. The most remarkable thing we do recall is Hård Knut, turning 50, nearing the end of his life, is preparing for an invasion of Lotharingia over here. And I don't think that invasion is going to take place until another 2 years from now or so, somewhat less. So we'll see. We'll be seeing how that goes. Anyways, goals for this particular session. Well, we're an ambitious man, so we're absolutely gonna make it our minimum goal of Harald's lifetime to finally establish the High Chiefdom of Skåne here. So what do we need to do to get that? Well, we need to get Blekinge and Bornholm. And like I said, Harald isn't gonna be messing around with claims. Like, sure, he's going to allow his Chancellor the chance of getting some claims if he can make it happen. But even without those claims, we're gonna go and take these lands, because the ditherings of his predecessors is part of the reason they failed. We are not going to dither, we are not going to wait, we are gonna take the lands that belong to us and form our own kingdom. And like, remember, this guy's flipping brother raided our lands. How does he get to raid his lands and get away unpunished, but we can't take the lands of Blekinge for ourselves and be recognized as the kings that we should be? So no, we're going to declare a war, a border dispute war on him, but as you'll notice, we can't do that until we've got at least 100 prestige. And we took a little bit of a prestige hit last time because we married this peasant girl. Apparently, people think it's a disgrace for Harald to just randomly spot a woman in the harbor, a peasant woman, and then decide to marry her without even knowing her. So, lots of folks aren't best impressed with Harald as of yet. And as much as the lazy, gluttonous Harald would do nothing more than just sit around at home, resting and eating, duty does require of him to go out and demonstrate some sort of courage and commitment. So he's gonna go out on a raid. He's gonna go out on a looting round to prove his mettle as a Viking and to garner enough prestige that he'll be able to call troops into war. But he's gonna make things a bit easier on himself. You see, he's gonna raise the troops. He's going to take the actually, he's probably not gonna take command at all. He's gonna leave it to Åke and Ingolfir here. And he ain't bothered about traveling overseas. He's just gonna go to the next door neighbor, loot the lands closest to him, and let that be it. Hope that'll be enough prestige for the people to be happy. So, yeah. With the minimum effort required to please his subjects, with a plan and an objective, let us finally unpause the game and move the session forward. Ooh. Raiders of Kjartan has arrived in Lolland. Well, laughing out loud to that. Let me see, are you still leading troops? You're leading troops, but you're like way back in the rear. He's probably sitting by his tent or something and gorging himself on some takeaway snacks while his men do the work and get all the loot. That's typical. I guess we're gonna see more of that in the future, as these mofos march into our land. My studies and training have taught me the general tactics of flanks and center, but I can hardly master everything. We're definitely not going to be a center leader, because we're too lazy to do that. But, yeah, I guess we can be a flanker. Choke points, narrow flanks, trickster. Let's do the flanks. I think flanks will require the least amount of effort. Oh, he's going somewhere entirely else. I don't quite know what that's all about, but hey, we took Finnveden. We're gonna keep grabbing the gold and loot. We're actually more interested in prestige, but... well, I don't think it comes as easy, as we've just finished building a practice range. But we don't have the prestige to build anything else right now, so it's gonna take a hold. Oh, we can hold the loot. We might do that if we get some prisoners, but, we'll see, we'll see. Are we getting any prestige at all? Hand of a great hero, diplomatic skill. Uh-oh. Oh, shit. I hope he's not coming for our lands. Okay, let's move to that end. No, he's still just walking by us. We're looting all of his lands, but he's just walking past us like nothing's happening. Wait, what? A random peasants arrived at our court? Like, what? Somebody just dumped an imprisoned guy at our court? Can we... I don't fucking care. Okay. Now he just disappeared. I have no idea what all of that was about, but... hey-ho. Ooh! Fate smiles upon me! My wife Gyla is pregnant! Yes, baby! So we're gonna be having our very first child soon enough, as our marshal initiates a recruitment drive over at Skåne, which is fan-flipping-tastic. Yeah, we're gaining prestige slowly but surely enough. We're gonna be up to 100 prestige in no time, I'm sure. Ooh. Vaden tribe has been looted for gold. And we've taken some prisoners, yay! Wait, another strange chest. This is the same kind of strange chest that Harald the Elder found. A strange chest made of an unknown metal was recovered by your men while they looted the holding. Try as they might, they haven't been able to force the chest open, and its contents remain a mystery. It has now been deposited into your care. One day, that chest will be opened. Mark my words. Let's hope it does get opened, though. And let's hope it contains more than the last one did, because the last chest contained nothing. Oh, okay. Wait, what the hell? Damn it, I pressed too many times. What did he do? Åke, son of Uhtred, did something. I think he conquered some new lands or, whatever. Maybe he just got himself 2 new baronies. I don't know. I clicked too fast. And hold on. We've actually got some prisoners. Oh, you're pregnant already? And you're suffering a difficult pregnancy in prison. Well, that's not good. And we got a child here that we can't ransom. Because he's not fucking interested in her. Well, that's cruel. How old is this child? She's 11. And she's a bastard. Normally would let people go, but... I don't know. Like, would we care? Is Harald honorable enough that he would give 2 craps? But a pregnant woman and some 11-year-old girl in his prisons? She would have been concubine materials if not for the fact she was pregnant. I don't know. Maybe we'll release them later. They can hang out in the jail cells for the time being. as this place is out of money, and I figure, why the fuck don't we just go for Blekinge straight away? Like, you pillaged our lands, we might as well pillage yours. We can't. Okay? Well, fine. Fine. We pillaged all the places close to us. So that's enough of an effort. Right. That's how lazy this guy is. He doesn't want to do anything more than the absolute minimum. So we're going to... Oh, she died already? Oh, she must have died from the pregnancy. Okay, that's harsh. That's harsh, dude. She suffered difficulties related to her pregnancy and she just died in the damn squalid conditions. I'm guessing, as a sign of good faith, we're just gonna release this child. We are indifferent about the sufferings of our prisoners, but we're not an evil person, and Harald doesn't want the death of an 11-year-old girl on his conscience. Now, what the hell is this? Björn of Gästrikland. Oh, he's the brother of my mom. This is actually quite interesting, because Harald's mother is Svanhild, and Svanhild is the daughter of Björn Järnsida, the legendary king of Swithjord. And that, to me, indicates that Harald, once Skåne is free and independent, he's going to be more prone to align himself with Sweden rather than the future kingdom of Denmark, which I kind of like personally, because I'm Swedish and I have a much easier time imagining Skåne being a part of Sweden than of Denmark. Call me biased. But yeah, that's gonna be another thing we do, and I'll be able to keep it in the story now, just because I married his father with a Swedish Viking woman. Anyways, Björn, my uncle, is so caring, always ready to lighten up the mood during a somber family dinner or to play with the children. Even though we may disagree from time to time, I cannot deny his accomplishments as uncle. Oh, okay. So we're better friends with him. That's nice, I guess. Oh, wait. Okay. A lot of folks released a lot of folks from prison. That's fine and dandy. A daughter was born to Harald of Skåne and Gyla of Skåne. Why don't we name her Gyla too? I mean, come on, we're naming the sons after ourselves, or after our mothers, so we might as well name our first daughter after her mother. Like, why not? Why can't we do that? Thank you, wifey, for giving us a beautiful daughter. We do need a son, though, for the sake of the inheritance. Like, right now, our next brother, Geir, is the heir, should anything happen to Harald, but, as every other ruler before us, we would prefer to have a son inheriting us, so we can proceed on to the fourth and next generation. Now, we're getting that prestige, but, it's still taking a while. Okay, we can hold the bloat again, but we just lost all our prisoners, so that ain't gonna happen. Ooh! Oh, hold on! Oh, shit! Hordknut received a hole in his body, and he just up and died! Holy smokes! The oppressor is dead! The oppressor is dead! Whoa! Nope. So who is the king now? The king now is Hordknut's eldest living son, Sigurd the Second of Sjaelland. He's marked as an interesting character. Good. He's married to this Pomeranian woman, Jarmila Svagrov. He's only had a daughter thus far. Let's take a look at him. He was starting to become a priest, but obviously that failed. He's a content guy, oddly enough, so he ain't very ambitious in terms of getting new lands and stuff. He's patient and trusting of others, but at the same time he's got a streak of envy. Like he feels he's got an inferiority complex. He feels everybody else is more accomplished than he is, and he doesn't like that. And I notice as well that Gavel kinda split up the realm, which means his brother, Hakon, who's 11 years old, he has gained possession of Mecklenburg, which encapsulates these here lands. Opportunity potentially for Holmgir to expand his borders if he can get his military going. Maybe. Okay, so there ain't gonna be an invasion of Lotharingia then, as he managed to acquire Burgundy too. What happened to Martha? Oh, she died in the dungeons of some cardinal here. Well, that's fucking cruel, man. Really? These here lands are ruled by a cardinal? Cardinal Giles the Drunkard, who's got rose gardens and is a possessed motherfucker. Oh, that's grotesque. So Jocelyn now holds both titles, and he's got all of his lands connected to him, which once again puts him in a stronger position compared to the usurper king. Queen! Oh, what happened to Pepin? He died a natural death at age 59. And as per tradition, his eldest child, in this case a daughter, inherited the realm. So Italy now has a queen. Queen Helvis of Italy. And she ain't got any claims to any of the Carling kingdoms, so she's gonna have to make do with what she's got. Ooh. There only seems to be one guy to choose from anyway, so yeah, we'll vote for Gordon. Why not? We ain't got no reason really to vote for anybody else, as Sigurd knows. Sigurd the Second wants to leave he wants to leave a legacy. He wants... Speaking of flipping legacies, what? He's declared the Sjaelander conquest of Ponthieu. Where's Ponthieu? On the king of West Francia. Where the hell is Ponthieu? Ponthieu. The county of Ponthieu. Oh, you want this little piece of land? Why? What's the point of just taking that? Anyways, I was talking about securing a legacy in terms of getting an heir. He wants to cement his legacy even further by demonstrating to the realm that he's a warrior. I don't think he wants to associate himself too much with his father, important to note, but he definitely wants to associate himself with Sigurd, Snake in the Eye, to show that the second Sigurd is just as powerful as the first, as the Lords of Sjaelland have approved low tribal organization. Ooh, what's happening here? Ooh. Oh, I see. The Slavic tribes over here are using the opportunity, now that a child is in charge of the lands, to try and declare independence. This guy here, Vratislav, son of the chief of Whirl, wants to make himself the new ruler. He wants to break free from the Viking oppressors, and well, I don't blame him. As he's formed the independence faction. What the fuck? Dude, what the fuck, mate? Another brother of this mofo is coming to take our lands. We will have absolutely nothing of it. We will raise our troops and fight him back, but Harald is obviously going to stay out of it. I'm too busy eating. You go and deal with this crap. As we send our best commander Åke out to face these hands. Shit, how long have I been having the microphone away? Oh, crap. Anyways, our younger brother Totil died of rabies. I didn't even know he had rabies. Otherwise, I would have flipping cured him. Oh, man. So now it's Geir. And then it's Torbjörn. I'm going to get back on Vagn at a later point, cause he's a bit of a special child. But anyways, let us return to the defense of Skåne as Harald watches on the safety of his castle walls as his men storm out of the gates and smash the enemies. Oh yes indeed. Simple victory. Well done. And you people, get the fuck lost. Ooh, our wife is pregnant again. Cool beans. At least we've got prestige, in the positives. We're not negative so-and-so prestige anymore. We can't research any more technologies. So how's the war going? Okay, all these people are going on foot. As Holmgeir is pretty alone in his independence faction. I don't think you want to be independent though, mate. You want to try and pounce on any of the opponents while under the protection of your leash. Because that's the good thing about being under a leash. You're protected from anybody larger than you that might want to try and seize your lands. You should make more use of that, because on your own you're going to be eaten up by either Gårdarike or Swithjod. But oh well. It's his call, it's his decision. He'll just have to sort that out himself. Okay, it is good tradition to have some gossips around a pregnant woman in order to keep her calm and distracted from the tribulations of this delicate time. As Gyla's husband, it is my duty to provide her with the support she needs. Well, we're not indifferent about our wife. I mean, ooh, we've actually come to like her very much. I think the last opinion we had of her was 8, now it's grown to 23. Okay, I think we are going to put down a little bit of effort of caring for our wife, but some of our family members. Yeah, let's send some family members. Why not? So long as we ourselves don't need to do anything, it's fine. Ooh. Okay, this is our sister. Our sister Rönnfrid, who now has reached the age of 12 and can be given a proper education. She's best suited for the art of stewardship. Her timid nature would make her an unsuitable warrior, so go ahead and have a stewardship education, sister. My wife Gyla asked me to buy her new clothes. Because of the pregnancy, she's outgrown most of her wardrobe, and now she feels frustrated for not having anything nice to wear whenever she needs to make an appearance at court. But my dear, you don't need new clothes. You are already wonderful. Yeah, that's probably his honest opinion. We're too lazy to spend money. Let's just compliment her on the way she looks now. You don't need new clothes. Just look at you. Your natural beauty is better than any form of artificial beauty out there. Just cherish yourself as you are. Like I cherish you. And she's flattered. Bless her heart. Oh! Now he's taking some action. Holmgir is. He's declared the Latigalian Mecklenburgian border dispute over Järva. As I imagine he would. Because now Västergötland, the Jarl of Västergötland, is trying to declare their own war for Mecklenburg. And so he uses the opportunity to stake his own claims. Well, good for him. I hope you do well. I'll be rooting for you. And he's disbanded his faction. To the magnificent Harald, may you live in harmony and contentment. We request that you honor your obligation and answer this call to arms against King Gelduin of West Francia. We're gonna accept this because we don't want to take the prestige hit, but we're obviously not gonna be doing anything because we're a lazy son of a bitch. As Åke, why do we get to choose the education for Hallgrim's son? He should be sent over to Hallgrim's court. There is no reason he should be here. Whatever, let's just give him what he's best at. Marshal. There you go. You're a warrior, dude. Okay, some people are in prison. Oh, he wants Tolir. This guy to rule in Sjaelland. We have a son! A son was born to Haraldr of Skåne and Gyl of Skåne, who is not gonna be named Bo, because that's a short and silly name. I'm gonna try and come up with a name myself. What should we name our first son? Harald's taken. We don't want to call him Raven. We'll call him Siegfried. I'll have to double check how you spell that. Honestly. Just give me a sec. I'm just gonna spell it the conventional Swedish way. Siegfried. There we go. There we go. Our eldest son, Siegfried Haraldsson, has been born, and we are all celebrating and rejoicing. Oh yeah, as our prestige is slowly creeping up to 100, at which point we can start declaring our own war at long, long last. We might go ahead and do... Actually, we might go ahead and loot and pillage some place in West Francia after all. Because we do need the money and we do need the prestige. Or maybe we'll just go to these rebels over here. Just get something close, because we don't need a lot of prestige anyways to tip the scales. Ooh! Recently, I have noticed the pitiful state of my wife Gyla. I've just been informed that the cause of her aches and fatigue is a case of the flu. Court physician! Heal my wife quickly! Okay, we didn't manage to hit the 1st of January there. I'm looking at the timer, and technically we've still got 5 minutes to go, but you know what? I think this is as good place as any to call a close to the session for now. We've set the field, we've set the tone for the continuation of our campaign, and hopefully we'll make things get really cracking on next time as we get as much prestige as we need, as we start conquering some lands, and we commence on our journey to finally become an independent kingdom. So stay tuned for the next session as Haraldr the Younger of Skåne plans, plots, and schemes to bring his lands and his family to previously unseen fields of glory. So I wish you all a good night, a good evening, and a good day, depending on where in the world you are. And I hope to see you again next time.